Konnichiwa, Senpai desu. Welcome to the Learn from the Pros series, where we delve into the techniques of professional anime illustrators on Axe and apply their techniques to our own. In today's video, let's talk about the illustrator who gave birth to a certain shark. Many of you might not have heard the name Nacho Neko, but I'm sure you must know who Gogura is. With her dorky personality, combined with Nacho Neko's cute art style, Gura became one of the most popular members of Hololive. Yes, that's exactly the theme of today's video. If you are struggling to draw cute kawaii girls, you've come to the right video. By studying Nacho Neko sensei's artwork, we can understand what makes a cute character cute and learn how to implement those elements in our drawings. Alright, let's begin with the breakdown study. Before we begin, we have to understand what it means to be cute. No, not this kind of cute. In anime art, there are mainly three elements that can really make a character go from to. Firstly, let's start with proportion. Proportion is crucial when it comes to drawing cute anime characters. As a human grows, their head stays the same size, but their body becomes bigger. Thus, the smaller the head-to-body ratio, the more childlike and cute a character will look. In anime and manga, the ratio is often exaggerated. For example, an actual baby is probably about 3 or 4 heads tall, but that is often exaggerated to 2 heads tall in illustrations to portray cuteness. Here's the comparative height chart of anime-style characters at different stages of development. They are measured in heads. The most common height we see in anime and manga is somewhere between the 6 and 7 heads range, especially for high school girls. Let's examine this illustration to see what the head-to-body ratio is. Gura is about 5.5 heads tall. In anime art, exaggeration is a key technique used to enhance cuteness. Not only would you want to start using 5 or 5.5 heads for your characters, you also want to enlarge the eyes to convey the feeling of innocence and goo goo gaga. Large, expressive eyes are a staple of cute anime characters. The sparkle or shine are usually added to the eyes, giving the character an extra bling. Furthermore, having small noses and mouths along with round faces and soft contours will make your character even cuter. These features will create a sense of softness and gentleness, making us go. Speaking of round faces and soft contours, let's delve into the second main element. Shape has the power to convey visual and emotional messages. Circles, ovals, and other soft rounded shapes symbolize concepts like completion, harmony, and wholeness. In anime art, circles represent cuteness, simplicity, and charm. In Nacho Neko sensei's illustrations, you'll rarely encounter sharp-edged shapes like squares or triangles. It's a deliberate choice that uses soft, rounded shapes to enhance the overall cuteness and aesthetic of the artwork. With this in mind, let's move on to my next point. We can see that Nacho Neko sensei loves to use plushies or pillows as props in her drawings. Notice how the plushies are all rounded in shape. Besides, plushies and pillows are soft objects, so they naturally give off a sense of softness, which enhances the overall cuteness of the artwork even more. Basically, use 5 or 5.5 head-to-body ratio. Draw bigger eyes, smaller nose and mouth. Use rounded shapes like circles or ovals to enhance the overall cuteness. Add plushies or pillows as props to enhance the overall cuteness. When it comes to colors, Nacho Neko uses a shading style called cell shading, and she usually uses monochromatic and analogous colors. Monochromatic means using just one color in different shades. For example, if she's using a blue color, she will apply different tones by adding white, gray, or black. In her drawings, you'll notice Nacho Neko uses various shades of blue for hair, eyes, and plushies. But using only one color all the time could get boring. This is where analogous colors come in. These are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. In one of her illustrations, she uses different shades of green for hair, eyes, and plushies, and adds yellow for the pillows in the background. Nacho Neko sensei also likes to add neutral colors like black and white for things like dresses. Overall, her colors tend to be a bit muted compared to other artists like Mika Picasso. When picking colors from the color wheel, try to stick to this range. This is the sweet spot. Cell shading is a common style used in anime to create a vibrant and dynamic feel. It consists of 3 components: the base color, shading, and sometimes highlights. Nearly all your favorite anime characters are colored this way. However, this is too basic for illustrations. You might want to elevate this coloring style. Let's explore the enhancements Nacho Neko applies in her drawings. Firstly, she usually uses halftone and gradients to make her drawings look more 3D. While cell shading usually has flat colors with clear lines, gradients make colors blend smoothly, giving a more realistic look. Generally, gradients are added as soft shadows on the character's skin using an airbrush. Next, let's focus on adding more details to the darker parts. If you understand the basics of light and shadow, you'll know that shadows have different parts like the main shadow, reflected light, and cast shadow. On the other hand, the brighter parts are mainly about light and highlights. If you look closely, you'll see that Nacho Neko spends more time shading than highlighting her characters. She usually uses 2 to 3 different shades or more to shade parts like the hair and clothes. Now that we've understood the theory, let's put all this knowledge into practice by drawing an OC. You will learn how to add shadows one layer at a time in Nacho Neko style. But before that, let me tell you about today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community with thousands of classes led by industry pros. Whether you're into illustration, design, or animation, Skillshare has got you covered. With summer school breaks, it is the perfect time to embark on a learning journey and elevate your skills to the next level. Here, you can easily find classes you like such as anime drawing, and they are all suitable for beginner or intermediate level. For me, I'm excited to learn how to draw fight scenes for comics. This class not only covers gesture drawing, but it also helps you to develop your own pose from your imagination. If you have always wanted to draw action-packed fight scenes, especially the ones like in Dragon Ball, then this class is perfect for you. Join me on this learning journey this summer. The first 500 people to click the link can get 1 month free trial of Skillshare. To match Nacho Neko Sensei's style, cat ears and plushies are important, so I came up with this pose. While drawing, I made sure the proportions are between 5 to 5.5 head to body ratio. Then, I draw the eyes larger than usual and keep the nose small and cute. I also avoid drawing any pointy shapes to maintain the overall cuteness. After that, I start coloring the character. This time, I chose red, which is totally different from Nacho Neko Sensei's usual blue or green. I use different shades of red in my drawing to get that monochromatic look. I then roughly paint the shading part and move on to line art. Unlike other artists, Nacho Neko Sensei's line art is consistent and clear. I think this matches well with her smooth, cute, and soft art style. Next, I color the skin, hair, eyes, clothes, and plushies with their base colors. In this drawing, I chose a brighter red for the eyes to make them stand out. This helps people notice her eyes right away. It's a contrast technique you can use to make something the main focus in your drawing. After that, let's add shadows to the character, starting with the skin. I shade the areas where shadows would naturally fall, like under her hair, on her fingers, and on her wrist where the sleeves cover. Then I add some redness to the cheek to complete the character's look. Now, let's talk about shading the hair. Firstly, choose a color and start adding shadows to the hair. Let's call it Shadow 1. When shading, it's best to follow the shape of the hair with your shadows. With that in mind, you should be able to shade the rest of the hair easily. Next, let's add the cast shadows. We'll call it Shadow 3. I'll explain why in a moment. Generally, cast shadows appear behind the hair, or between the strands of hair. Next, we will use a different color to add another shadow to the hair. We will call this one Shadow 2. Shadow 2 is darker than Shadow 1, but not as dark as Shadow 3. Finally, we use an airbrush to lightly spray some skin tones onto the bangs to give them an airy look. After that, I start coloring the eyes. It's the same steps as usual. Start with basic shading, then add the pupil and the highlights at the bottom. Finally, add some details to finish it off with highlights. Simple, isn't it? Next, I shade the other parts of the character like the cat ears, clothes, and plushie. Unlike hair, using 1 to 2 colors for shading is enough. Adding more will just make things worse. Remember, less is more. Then, I changed the color of the line art accordingly to help achieve harmony with the colors used in the rest of the artwork. Finally, I added some red reflective light at the back of the hair and the lower part of the body to make it look more 3D. And voila! Here's the result of my Nacho Neko style OC. What do you guys think? And there you go. You should be able to draw cute girls now. Just make sure it's for legal purposes, or the FBI might come knocking on your door. If you found this video helpful and gained a lot of value from it, please like and share it. Tell me in the comment section below which professional artist you'd like to see me study next, and what aspect. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.